Welcome back to another Not as Debatable with myself, Sidney Smith, and my brother there, Mr. Deon Curry. We want to welcome you guys again here on Facebook Live. We want to welcome everyone on YouTube. We want to welcome all of you who are listening to the podcast on Thursday. We're recording this on Monday. You're not hearing it till Thursday, so thank you guys for jumping in with us as well. No matter how you're listening, we appreciate you being here. Shout out to our Patreon members who support the show as well. Thank you guys very much. Without you, I say it every week, man. You guys help keep the lights on. So thank you guys very much. Jump on to check out some of the latest stuff that is up for your perusing efforts. What's good, Alan? What's good, Facebook user? Thank you for jumping in with us. We appreciate it. Let you guys know right out the gate. What's up, though, Mr. Slim? Let you guys know right out the gate. Keep those comments coming. Keep the hellos coming. We want to hear from you, and we want to hear from you often. So, with all that said, Deon, what's good, brother?
Happy Monday to everybody out there watching and listening, no matter how you choose, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, or the podcast on Thursday. We definitely appreciate you. It was a tough weekend for me. A good friend of mine died yesterday, Mr. Daryl Lennox. Rest in peace. He was a tremendous, tremendous comic. He was the type of headliner that would help the next generation. You could ask him any type of question. He'd have a conversation with you. Hey, man, I like this. This is why I like it. Yo, I don't like this. This is how you should change it. Have you ever thought about doing something like this? Or what's the flip side of that? He was the type of comic that was a comics comic. Any comic that I've ever met who knows Daryl had nothing but great things to say about him. And it's unfortunate to hear about his untimely passing yesterday. So just RIP to my man Daryl. I literally worked with him a month ago in Louisville to the day, and it was really really tough hearing about him passing because he and I were supposed to be doing some shows together coming up in the summertime. So it's just really unfortunate that I won't ever get to see him again, won't ever get to talk to him again. He has an album out on Apple called Super Bloom. So if you want to go check out and support, it would be awesome if you guys go check that out. He's a super funny guy, and I'll miss him.
Yeah, when I talked to you, you said he was relatively young as well. So it's not as if he was an old guy on the verge of anything, at least as far as I know.
Yeah, he was in his early 50s. So it's a tragic loss for the comedy community because Daryl was a comics comic through and through, and just super personable type guy. Check out his comedy on YouTube. Just type in Daryl Lennox, Darrly, and then Lennox Lennox. So shout out to my man Daryl. Rest in peace, bro.
Absolutely, brother. Sorry to hear about that. Shout out to Mr. Lennox's family as well. It's not a easy time anytime someone passes, especially when it's unexpected like that. But we're going to try to have a show today and try to have the best show that we can. Thank you guys again for watching. Mary, I see your comments. Apologize that I was a little choppy for you on the internet, on Facebook, but seems to be cleared up on YouTube, which is weird because we were hearing the exact opposite from someone on YouTube last week. So I don't know. I just pushed the word go. We are going to have a good show for you, Deon. On the heels of that, you have anything coming up you want to let people know about?
I'll be in Zany's this weekend, Zany's Nashville. The tickets are sold out for the show, but we are doing a live podcast of the Pat Down that you can still get tickets for Saturday afternoon. So go to Zany's website, zanyscomedy.com/Nashville. There should be tickets up on their website, or you can go to misspatcomedy.com and buy tickets to the podcast there. That's where I'll be this weekend.
I myself will be. I'm on a break from shooting Soul Betrayal. A couple of my actors are off on location shooting a couple other things, so I'll be working on a pilot that I am writing right now to shoot later this year. But to kind of give you guys the word first, I will be recording my first special of this fall. So I'll be talking to you guys about that as that comes up. I'm going to shoot and record it right here in Phoenix. So I would love for everybody who supports us, who lives in Phoenix in the Valley or close by, to come on out and be a part of that. So, but more information to come on that. All right, Alan says YouTube can be very selective. Some days it's really good, some days it's really bad. Just depends on how things are going to be. And Mary says, I think YouTube is much better than Facebook, at least for me. And you guys are going to help me go ahead and jump into something else real quick before we get the show started. For our podcast listeners, you can watch the show live by jumping on and following myself, Sidney Smith, or Deon Curry, right on Facebook. Or you can watch this on YouTube as well if you want to watch the show live. And we'll give you that information inside of the podcast there later, inside the details. All right. With no more waiting, we're going to get to the show.
As you waited to say that.
Well, I stopped. You know what caught me? I was getting ready to say, don't forget to show us that you're here, show us some love, give us those emojis or emoticons or whatever. And when I was saying it, I saw like one heart. So I was like, so it made me stop because we never just have one anything up there. So like, the hell's going on? Especially when I can see we got, several sets of eyeballs watching. All right, let's jump into the show. So Deon sent me this video, and Deon shared it inside of the group. I tried to share it in the details of the show, but I was not able to do it. There's a father who took his son to the barbershop. Black father, black son, black barbershop. All right, so it's all black. And he took him to the barbershop, and you can see that the son has locks, I would say. Now I won't say dreads, I would probably say locks. Dan, how would you describe locks? Just braids of some sort, right?
I mean, it's the same thing as dreadlocks for all intents and purposes of this conversation. We don't have to get into the ins and outs for our white listeners. Y'all can look that up on your own time.
I'm sorry for our white listeners. Deon doesn't know how to treat y'all sometimes. I mean, look, we can explain things for them, Deon, so they can have a better understanding.
They'll be able to go watch the video. It's in the group. So if you want to see what we're talking about, join the Facebook group. That's how you get people to come see your shit.
Oh, is that how we do it?
Yeah, that's how we do it.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, Deon just gave me a master class on advertisement. So the little black kid with his locks are getting shaved off. The child is screaming bloody murder and crying while this is happening, saying he didn't do it. You can hear his father off camera. I assume his father is the one holding the phone, saying, "Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yes, you did," as they shaved his kid's hair. This was some type of punishment for something that the child did. We have no idea.
The kid was misbehaving in school.
But what he did exactly, we have no idea. He was misbehaving in school. Whatever he did, we don't know exactly. Anyway, the discussion is, or the debate is this or was this a proper way to punish this child? Deon, the floor is yours. I've been looking for all weekend to hearing what you thought about this action by this father.
First off, let me say, you can punish your children however you see fit to punish your children. I'm in no position to tell you how to discipline your kid. However, I would have never recorded this. I think that is the only issue I have with the entire situation, is the fact that he recorded his child looking a hot mess, screaming and carrying on in a public place of business putting this whole situation on blast to traumatize the child later. Because we live in an internet age, we live in a social media age, and now all those kids that he goes to school with, I'm pretty sure have access to Twitter. You know how things go viral, and it'll just be another thing for them to tease him on. I don't think you should record, especially in public, your children being embarrassed and punished, so to speak. I think if he wants to shave the kid's head because he's acting up, he has every right to do that. It's his child. He pays for the hair and the maintenance of it. So if he wants to cut it all off for whatever reason, if he just felt like, you know what, son, I'm cutting your hair because I'm tired of looking at it, that's his right. that's his child. But to record it and embarrass your son like that just because he's acting up in school and to teach him, quote unquote, a lesson by publicly shaming him like that, to me is bush league parenting, and you should be above that, especially nowadays with the way that once it's on the internet, it's always on the internet. To me, that was the only problem I had with it, is you should not ever embarrass your child. Like, if you want to punish them, do that, but you don't got to go above and beyond by posting it on social media. I think that is a terrible, terrible parenting strategy.
I myself thoroughly enjoyed the video.
I knew you would.
I
I knew you
thoroughly,
would. That's why I sent it to you.
I mean, I watched it 3 or 4 times when Dion had sent it to me initially. Just because I wanted to make sure I was up to date on what we're going to talk about on the show. Just thoroughly for homework. I thoroughly enjoyed it, man. This kid is screaming bloody murder while he's getting his hair cut off, and I didn't do it. And the father's off camera. Yes, you did. You know what you did. No, I didn't. And he's trying to move his head around, and they're holding his head by his hair. I mean, this is what I thought it looked like when they cut Samson's hair in the Bible. This is the first thing I thought. This has gotta be. This has gotta be. I ask all of you, if you have not seen the video, please go watch it after the show. You should have already seen it, but please go watch it after the show. Mary says, I watched it 3 times and I'll be watching it again. Absolutely right. Jack Henderson, what's up, Uncle Jack? He says he had it right. Absolutely. Thank you guys for being on my side and showing your wisdom. Look, first of all, we don't know what this father told his son. I am one who believes that a parent or a person should stick to their word. And so if he said, if you do that shit again, I'm cutting your hair off. And not only I'm going to cut your hair off, I'm going to record it for the whole world to see. Now, I don't know what the conversation was, but I'm going to give the father the benefit of the doubt. You know why? Because he was actually raising his child and punishing him. That's how I'm figuring this father was a man of his word. Do that shit again, and the hair goes. Look, I don't even think this is the first punishment that he gave this kid. This little bad bastard probably had already been punished, had the PlayStation taken away. You're not getting any new Jordans. You forget about going to the amusement. It's escalated to this. I don't fault this dad at all for shaving this kid. First of all, he should have shaved it, all right? Get the shit off his head. But I don't fault any child for shaving it. And I don't fault, and I
What's
do
your
not
problem with
fault,
dreads?
and I do not fault uh, this father for recording it. Who I do fault are the long list of people in the comments who were crying like bitches. Oh my God, I have dreads and I'm just so attached to them. And if you was to cut my hair, I would be traumatized. And oh, that's a bad father. He's a horrible father. Shut the fuck up. You are the exact problem with this country. Probably not only you the problem, but your children are probably bad as hell too. I'm gonna get a floor back to you, Dion. I'm gonna come back to it, but
I think
I
that
had
I
no
think that's
problem with it.
I think that's a little strong to say that people who say they're traumatizing the child are the problem with this country. I think that's a little bit of a stretch there. Again, I don't have a problem with the punishment. Let me be very clear with that. I don't have a problem with the punishment whatsoever. I have a problem with the embarrassment of recording it and posting it on the internet.
Excuse me.
It's not a wedding tape video. You're not gonna watch this again. Like, why are you recording it?
I
Are
am.
you gonna show it? Are you gonna show it to the kid?
Yes.
Remember the last time you acted up?
Yep.
You want to be like this? Like, why are you
Yep.
doing that to your kid when the whole world will do that to your kid without you participating in it? To me, I think it is a bad look. It's a terrible precedent. The people in your circle are
Excuse me.
supposed to ride for you regardless of how you act in a fool. In public, they're supposed to support you 100%. Now, behind closed doors, if you want to yell and scream and beat the shit out, that's your business. But in public, you are not. You're supposed to have your kids back. You ain't supposed to be out here embarrassing them. Now, if they did something on their own and they put it out on the internet and they embarrass you, now you gonna make another video coming about embarrassing them. But like, to me, it's a bad look
It's a great
as a
look.
parent.
And
It's
now
a
we
bad
go
look, bro.
and now we gonna play it again. We gonna play it at family reunions. We gonna play it at Christmas time because you gonna need a reminder on why you didn't get that PlayStation. We gonna play it again. Remember what happened the
He
last
don't feel
time?
it every time he lays
We
his head on that
we
pillow
go
at night.
we gonna have screenshots of it printed out and fucking put up on the refrigerator with the magnets right there next to that D that you probably brought home from class or
Ooh,
that
I'm
bad
so glad
report
you are
card.
not my daddy. I can hear the neighborhood kids now. Your daddy mean.
I, I again, no problem with it, and the only problem, going back to it, the comments. Who are these people who think that you're too tough on your kid because you're cutting his hair? Who
Yeah,
are
I
these
didn't
people,
think
Dion?
I didn't agree with those comments either. I didn't think that it was above and beyond reproach. I don't think it's the end of the world to cut your kid's head off. They're young, unless they have alopecia, their hair's gonna grow back. So this whole idea that he can't reestablish the identity he had at that moment before he got punished for acting up is ridiculous. But at the same time, there were people in the comments saying, "Oh, this is abuse. This is traumatizing." And look, abuse is a very strong accusation to be thrown out there, and chopping your kid's hair off does not constitute abuse. I need to say that first and foremost, because there are kids out there getting abused, and I guarantee you, if they had the option of the abuse they go through or getting a haircut, they would gladly sit in that chair and let their parent record it.
Hey, I want to say what's up to Lotus. Lotus, I see you in here. She says, "Hey, this is Lotus. Lotus, let us know what you think about tonight's show. We would love to hear from you. Assuming you're still watching, thanks for jumping in, Jack and Mary. Obviously, Alan is in with us. Laura Fricano is in here. What's up, Laura? It's a long time, long time. Thanks for jumping in. We appreciate you. Let us know what you think about the show as well. Look, for those people who say in the comments you are taking this child's identity or to something to that effect. That child's identity is tied to his parents. All right, that's your identity. Your identity is to do what I tell you to do. In fact, your identity is simple. It is my child. It is a child. That's it. You have locks, you have clothes, you have food, you have shoes. All of that is based off of me. So you don't have an identity. In fact, your identity doesn't start until you can leave here and go establish it with your own credit and your own paycheck someplace else. Your identity. Who are these people? Again, those people are a large part, since you won't let me lay it all on them, a large part of what is wrong with America today.
I can hear the conservatism just oozing out of your pores as you say,
I can
"Children are
feel it too.
to be seen and not heard."
And this kid, he's lucky. Look, back in the day, if you was bleeding bloody murder like this child was, he would have got his ass whooped. So he's lucky he wasn't getting his ass whooped, haircut, and recorded at the same time. Because this little motherfucker was on my lap. If I'd have been there, I'd probably slapped him.
You'd have slapped your own kid for screaming and hollering like that
I
after you
wouldn't
don't
have.
put them on recording.
First of all, we're gonna have a real talk. Let me show you how this goes. I'm gonna get real close. And this is what my mother used to do. All right, so this is where I get it from. I ain't create this. I'm like everybody else out there, or most people who had a black mother. Look here, we about to go in here, and you about to get your hair cut. You act a motherfucking fool, I'm gonna whoop your motherfucking ass. Embarrass me, I embarrass you. You understand? Do you understand? All right, let's go. And whatever happens after that is what happens after that. You had your warning in the car. That's that. Slim looks like Slim. Slim is jumping there. He said it's the damage to his pride that's the issue. It's not abuse or harsh. Folks tripping. They shouldn't have publicized it, but cutting his hair is nothing compared to the beatings we used to get. Slim, I thought I'd never say this. Slim has made it to the wall.
Said your comments is trash.
What'd you say? What'd you say?
You said Slim's comments be trash. He never thought you'd make it to the wall.
I thought he'd never bring a trophy home. We could take like when your son brings that little trophy home, that little just participation. I never thought you'd bring that home, and you just put that trophy in the
A
mouth.
little fake gold one that turns green after a month that's been sitting in the sun.
We gonna leave it up there, Slim. Don't let Uncle Deon talk to you like that. We gonna leave that up there. Uh, but yes, Slim makes a great point. This is not harsh. This is nothing compared to the ass whoopers we used to get. And yes, that would have never happened before. That's probably the biggest difference. 2023, one, you can showcase whatever you want to showcase, obviously from your phone. Two, that child ripping on that chair and screaming bloody murder. That would have none of those two things would have happened because one, you would have got to talk in the car. Do that if you want to. You see whatever you thought you was getting ready to do there is going to be much worse when you get your ass home. And no one would have been able to
So why
record shit
not
like that.
record that too?
What's that?
So why not record that ass whooping too? Why not put that on the internet? Why not create an OnlyFans of you beating the shit out your kid? Like at some point, the punishment has to be about the punishment. What is the recording for? I don't understand what the recording's for. It,
But
it, it serves no purpose
well, that's
other
what I
than to
said.
get clout on the internet.
Well, that's what I said. We're taking a couple of leaps here. I can only say that the father was being a good dad and sticking to his word, which is when we gonna record this. You getting your hair cut, and I'm gonna sit and I'm gonna put it out there. That's the only thing I can take from it. Um,
But as
it, it
as
Wait,
as a man, would you do that to your child? Would you say, "Hey, look, if you acting up, I'm gonna record you and put you on the internet for the whole world to see"?
Dion,
Like what
but
parenting strategy is that?
But for see, well, my answer to your question is no. I wouldn't do it. But I'm also someone who's a private person. I don't like social media at all, and if it wasn't for what we do for a living, I probably wouldn't have it. My wife enjoys it, so everywhere we go, we got to take a picture so it can be posted. And I'm not that way. So, no, I wouldn't do it, but because I'm a private person. Doesn't mean that I think this man is wrong. Again, I don't know why he did it. I don't know what he told his son. But I can tell you one thing. I can tell by the way his son was acting in that chair. That's a bad little motherfucker. He bad. He deserved whatever he got. Bad.
I don't disagree with you there. For the fact that his dad had to go to the lengths that he went to punish his child, lets me know that that kid was probably doing a bunch of stuff he had no business doing. Again, you parent your child however you want to parent your child. If it was me, I would not have recorded the video. I have no problem with them cutting the hair. I have no problem with you taking away the video games, no amusement parks, whatever punishment you see fit. Even if it's, to bend them over your knee and whoop their ass with a belt or go get a switch. I don't have a problem with that. That's how I grew up. Never been to jail, probably because of how afraid I was of my father. It was like, you're not finna. I'm not finna deal with this man if I get to go home. That's for damn sure. Like that was rule number one. Whenever something was we was talking about having some type of quote unquote fun, and we all know as teenagers and young kids, what's really fun is you ain't supposed to be doing it, and if you get caught, that's your ass. So I think that's one of the main reasons to this day why I don't do any type of hard drugs. I don't, I drink very little nowadays. My dad's not even here to punish me, but it's just knowing that look, I don't want to have to face this man. He was a Marine. His screws wasn't all the way tight. He was a black man, so he was always mad about something for whatever reason. And it's just
Taking
like
hypertension
any,
out on you.
you know what I mean. Any chance he got to whoop ass, he took it, and I didn't want to give him the opportunity to present my ass so he could whoop it.
But
No, thank you.
you make a good point because again, from a surface level, because that's all we know, folks. Again, watch the video after the show. If you're anything like me, you'll say, "Yeah, right on." If you're anything like Dion, you'll probably start a petition. So we'll see.
Petition. What am I petitioning?
Well,
Stop posting your
God only
your
knows.
bald headed kid on the internet.
God only knows. But to your point, I was much the same way. My mother fucking swung a hard, steady hand, and she did not spare any rods. There was no rod spared at the Smith house, not one. Even when you prayed God will allow her to find a way to spare a rod, there was none spared. Even for the smallest little thing. I remember getting my ass whooped with everything from belts to dish towels to purse straps to a butcher knife if she was chopping vegetables. Whatever she could get her hands on depending on what you had to get your ass whooped.
You should not be getting spanked with a butcher knife.
Say something.
That's
Say something wrong. Say something wrong. I'll tell you what you said. I got this on recording.
go
Watch it.
think. I will go message her myself. Please do not spank any more children
That's
with
it. I said
cutlery.
you don't need to tell her. I will be making sure she sees this, sir. So I am not one who's never
Ain't
ever.
nobody trying to eat them chopped up greens with your booty stains on them.
Motherfucker, you ain't get your ass. You ain't get hit on the ass with the cutlery, you fool. Um,
Was
let me
she
about
Yakuza? Would she take your finger? This is crazy.
put,
Why are
put,
you getting beat with knives,
put,
man?
Because that's what was in her hand at the time. All right.
Does she have a Swiss Army knife? She hit you with a little cork.
Oh, I can't wait. I got to plan a trip for the both of y'all to be here at the same time. So, and for her to be making meatloaf.
Mama Smith, I'm gonna need you to stop it.
So I'm not against ass whoopers. I believe in ass whoopers. But I'm like you, those things are done or should be hopefully only done in the earlier stages of life, not when you're 2, 3 years old. I'm not saying that part. Till you're old enough to kind of understand what respect is, and what even to a certain level where your fear goes from fear to being respect, and then you can start to think about, hey man, I probably don't want to do that because I'm gonna get my ass whooped, and then that turns to I don't want to do that because I don't want to disrespect my mom, or I don't want to disrespect my dad or have them see me in a certain light. And a lot of kids don't take to an ass whooping. I've seen some parents, I'm related to some parents who had to go through a lot of trials and tribulations with their child to find whatever that thing is that affects that kid. There's kids out there, they don't give a shit about no PlayStation. They don't give a shit about you taking no cell phone. They don't give a shit about no ass whoopings. They don't give a shit about none of that. And
I
so,
went to it. I
go
went
ahead.
to school with a kid named Adrian who, no matter how many times you whoop this nigga ass, he was like, "Please, I want some more." Like it didn't.
It don't matter. My
He
little
didn't
brother,
give a good goddamn about pain. He
my
didn't
little
care
brother
at
who's
all.
2 years younger, it's like I was the kid. I didn't want it. Like I didn't get a lot of spankings or whoopings or whatever anyway. And so, but I knew but I learned early. I didn't like him. My brother who's 2 years behind me, he couldn't care two fucks about it. He would do something, get his ass whooped for it, and he'd turn around and do that same shit again the same day. Like he did not care. So again, I only can say that with this dad, he was pushed to this. And I'll say this as well. I would probably take this video and put it right up there with, hey, you motherfuckers act like black dads don't be around raising their kids. Here you go. Here's a black dad doing that right now.
I don't know if that's the trophy video we want to put on display
Hey
as
man, hey,
the model for black parenting.
give it to Steve. Hey, I didn't say it's the model for black parenting. I just said, hey, here's a dad taking some fucking interest in his son. Because they always love to say dads only care about the daughters and the moms care about the son. Here's a dad taking interest in his son and fucking making him man up.
Yeah, again, I'm all for punishing your children how you see fit. Just we don't. Who's that? The world doesn't need to see your decision making skills. We don't need to be.
I
I
do.
mean, it makes great content for us, obviously, but at the same time, it's like, come on, bro. Like your kid is gonna grow up one day, and you don't want him having video of you on your deathbed shitting your pants like, oh, look at my dad should have had better health insurance. Like, you know what I mean? It's like
You just always
you
take something
create
go.
no, because you can create resentment in some of the punishments that you do and the actions that you do after those punishments. Now, if you're nana nana booing your own child, I don't think that's a healthy relationship for you to be forming. And putting it on the internet to me is nothing but a giant nana nana boo boo to your kid. I'm gonna embarrass you the way you embarrass me. But we didn't know what the kid did. We are outsiders looking in. So all I see is you embarrassing your child for whatever he did, not knowing what he did. To me, it's a bad look.
Right, but that's how you see it. I see it like that must be one bad motherfucker for his father to record him getting his hair cut.
And
And,
even if he is one bad motherfucker, why are you showing the world how bad your child is? Like,
and
for who is that for? Why would you do that?
Well,
Back me up in the chat, y'all. If you think I'm crazy, let me know.
don't
But
back him up at all. He is crazy.
if you have a
I,
difference of opinion, please let me know because I just don't understand the benefit of posting your child's punishment for the whole world to see. I don't
so
get it.
so now I got to snitch on Slim. Now he said, "You seen the size of my mom?" LOL. She used to grab me by the ankles and hold me upside down. LOL. And Slim is a very tall individual, and so is his mother. So I believe, and she's just, I call her Mom Dukes, and I love Mom Dukes. Very nice lady. She ain't got to whoop me at all. So if she never gets a chance to see this, Mom Dukes, nothing but love to you.
If your nose wasn't already brown.
And Slim, he's a bad adult. So I know he needed his ass whooped when he was a
uh,
kid. He deserved every
I wish
ass
I
whoop
could
he
vouch for
deserved.
you, Slim, but he's right on. You be wildin'. You be
Yeah,
wildin',
man.
Slim.
You deserve every ass whooping you got. Every time she hung you upside down, you had it coming. What does Mary say? Mary says, my mom took off her rubber sole shoe. So Mary mom was very old school. She boomeranged her ass probably with that shoe.
I mean, getting hit with switches and shoes, and in your case, cutlery, is
I can't wait. Oh, I can't wait.
a method of discipline to which I have no problem. I have a problem with getting spanked with a knife or pop with a knife or even a knife being held, period. You don't, you should not hold knives on your children. Uh,
Hold on. You act like she
but
had me up against the wall. Taking, snatching motherfuckers' lunch
I
money and
bet
shit.
you if she did, you'd have never done what it was that got you there in the first place ever again. That's for sure.
Motherfucker, I told you, I didn't get a lot of them. All I need to be hit one time for some shit.
Apparently so, because you know the next step is a knife.
count,
Jesus Christ.
yeah, count me out. what's that? What's that? What's that new edition song? You can count me out.
You sang the old edition of it. Goodness gracious. Don't do that no more. Don't do that no more. I can see you on the porch whittling with your little apple peeler. Back in my day, my mama would have beat me with this had I said something.
You say, whittling out there with an apple, singing this new edition songs. I'm pretty sure you and I only do this show for ourselves. So
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Charles says, "Laugh my black ass off," and Mary says, "My mom spanked me in the front yard in front of my friends." Uh, and Mary, that's a good point, Mary. I didn't even think about that. You talking about being put out in front of everyone. There was a time you would get your ass whooped in front of your friends in the front yard. You get your ass whooped in front of your relatives. You get your ass popped at the grocery store in front of people. I think it's only now within the last 20 years or whatever it's been when we got pussified, where you're not supposed to do certain things. Used to be you get your ass whooped in front of the whole world before. It wasn't on YouTube with a phone or anything like that because we didn't have them back then. But for those times, when you got your ass popped in front of everybody, to you as a kid, you like, this feel like the whole world watching me getting my ass whooped.
All right. I have no problem with you disciplining your child in public. I have a problem with you recording it for future use. Like,
Well,
look,
come
man,
on, man,
you're
come
supposed
on.
to go to WrestleMania one time. You're not supposed to record the home DVD and then pop it in like,
All right,
ooh,
bro.
y'all ready to eat? Let's go get some popcorn. We gonna watch when I punish my child. Like to me that is a crazy idea to record the punishment.
It's a crazy idea that you think that they're gonna watch it later with popcorn. That's the crazy part. You the
I
crazy one.
mean, why else would you?
Not
Because
not
you're
that.
gonna have the conversation again, especially as much as that kid was screaming bloody murder. You knew he be lying all the time.
Oh, that shit was so funny. It's so funny. But I'm always been one to enjoy watching a kid get his ass whooped or get
Oh,
punished.
I love this comment that I just saw from Miss Susie. I knew she was gonna back me up. Go ahead and read
Oh, I don't want to read it. I'm gonna scroll back down. I don't.
it.
Miss Susie is too long. Miss Susie, I'm gonna need you to start getting your comments out in 3 words. All right, Miss Susie says, "I think punishment should be administered in private and kept in private. Embarrassment and humiliation is not part of the learning process. Plus, the internet is forever. It has the potential of embarrassing him for years. He'll be punished over and over for this transgression. Sad." Miss Susie, Love it because it's always so well worded, so well thought out, and I love that you watch. So thank you for watching, Miss Susie. Give you an applause break there. I got a feeling though you would have not come and put that up if Dion had not been begging for somebody to back him up. So thanks. Thanks. I feel like Miss Susie was typing in. Yeah, she should have cut his hair twice in 1 week and recorded it, and then you was like, "Would somebody back me up?" And she said, "Delete, delete, 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 delete," and then type this up.
That was my voice. Was that your impersonation of me?
Oh,
Somebody
that's
back me up.
that's every time I hear it. That's what I hear up
No
there.
wonder you tone deaf singing New Edition.
It only sounds tone deaf because I'm not 12 years old singing it like I used to be back in the day. How am I supposed to hit them pitches?
I bet your mama woke you up to perform in front of company, didn't she?
She
Sidney,
did
go
actually.
sing this.
She
I
actually
know it.
did.
I
She
could
did.
tell.
Yeah, she did. Hey man, I was quite the little singer and dancer back in the day. All right, let's see. Danae's in with us. What's up, Danae? Danae said it also helped to have the discussion about my expectations are going into a public situation. See,
The comment she made before that, she said,
did I
when
miss it?
needed, yeah, she
Okay.
says, Caleb says, what's up? What's up, Caleb? Long
What up,
time no
Caleb?
see.
I missed that. Sorry. Excuse me. Put to the both. Go ahead, Dion.
Danae says, when needed, I remove my kids from the environment to have the discussion. That's only if the snap for their attention and the look didn't work in the first place. My dad had a whistle. If you heard the whistle and you wasn't there within 5 seconds, that was your ass. Like it was just one of those. I can't even do it.
You a
My
devil
dad's
dog to
whistle
his
was so,
heart.
man, it was one of those things where it's like if you heard that, you knew something was wrong, and one of the three of us did it, and you would be hoping it wasn't you. Whether it was why ain't the grill started, or how come you didn't cut the grass the way I like the grass cut, or why the leaves in the yard? I'm like, because you bought this big ass house with all these goddamn trees. I ain't breaking all this shit. You wanted the yard. That was my biggest pet peeve with my
I
father.
hope you ain't say that. I'm saying.
Not in that moment, but as an adult, I
Oh,
did
okay.
air my grievances from my teenage years. Like we hated that house. It had
My
these huge
grievances.
trees with all these leaves, and we'd be out there. It's raining. You didn't ever want to rake it up. We don't care about the yard because you don't care about the yard. You just got the yard, so we'd have a place to play. We teenagers. We ain't playing outside in the front yard like little kids. That ain't for us. And it had crab apples all the time. And one day, me and my best friend, we was bored. We picked all them apples and we busted them all in the street, thinking, oh, the rain will come wash it out. We were in the middle of a drought, man. Them apples out there just rotten. There was so many bugs. I got in so much trouble.
I had a similar grievance with my mother, but I won't go into it because all you're gonna do is pick on me. All right, so
Oh, you don't want to be shamed in public. Oh,
because the internet's forever. You heard him. The day says, "LOL." I whistle when it's time to go. I'm with the both of you, Danae and Dion, and anybody else out there who knows. And Slim, I know Slim knows. And Slim is still on the wall, y'all. Knock him off the wall. Somebody knock Slim off the wall. My mom had a look, and she gave that look. You know she's about to put them big hands on you. My mother's a 32-year vet at the General Motor Factory. She got big, heavy hands. You ain't want them paws on you if you can help it. So again, there was no ride spared with the Smith kids. Not one. Good conversation. Good conversation. Mary says my mom had a snap, ignore it, and it was on. Whew, ignore it. I didn't know what the word was. Ignore. Mary says, sorry, Miss Susie, but better to have your parents embarrass you than to have your butt get thrown in juvenile detention. I know a woman years ago, and she talked about getting on her son, whooping his ass in public, and she said she had this woman say something to her, and she told this woman, mind your fucking business. Me whooping his ass now is going to keep him from taking your TV out your fucking bedroom window. I said, what did the woman say? She said, the woman just was shocked and just, because I don't think people expect the parent to say anything back when you ooh, you're going to be in trouble with the mom or the dad. But she had words for it. She just shut the fuck up. Got tight.
yeah. I'm not one of those people who feels it necessary. But hey, maybe you should lighten up. Unless you like literally killing the kid,
Yeah, yeah.
that ain't none of your business. Whatever that child, for whatever reason, that parent decides to whoop ass or take names, that's their business. If it's in a public place and the kid's carrying on in a manner that the parent has warned the child about, It is not your responsibility. I don't think you should be doing that because whatever ass whooping is left over from the child, you can catch. So mind your motherfucking business. Point blank, period.
Absolutely, I agree with that 100%. Here's a comment that won't be making it to the wall. Evelyn Black Price says, "Love you, Dion." That won't be making it to the wall.
Hey, Evelyn.
Anthony says, "What up, though? What up, Ant?" And Miss Susie says, "But you're not whipping his ass now. You're whipping his ass over and over in front of the world." Miss Susie, geez, I didn't even know you could type whipping and ass in the same sense like that, Miss Susie. Miss Susie, I do agree with you to a certain point there, but at the same time, I'm old enough to remember seeing. Dion, did I ever tell a story about this girl getting her ass whooped with an extension cord? Did I tell that story on the show?
I don't think
So
so.
whether it's this way, Miss Susie, or it's by memory, either way, people are going to remember it. Like I remember being a kid, I had to be 7 or 8 years old, and I'm at my grandmother's house, and we went down the street to the playground. We were on the playground, and these two girls get into a fight. I'm gonna try to tell the abbreviated version of the story without missing any beats, key beats. And these two little girls, probably around my age, maybe a little older, get into a fight. One girl takes an ass whooping, and she runs home. And then her mother brings her back across the street to fight this girl again. And the girl beats her up again in front of her. Now her mother's holding an extension cord when she
I do
brings her
remember
back.
this now that you mentioned it.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
And then she hands the extension cord to her daughter, and the girl takes it from the daughter and beats the daughter with the extension cord. So the mother whips the little girl's ass all the way back home again. See, I didn't have YouTube, and I still remember that. So what I'm saying is, people are going to remember things when you get your ass whooped in public, whether it be via YouTube or like back in the day when we was growing up. So it doesn't
Well, but here's the
matter.
difference. Here's the difference between you being the freaking Socrates of the village or the playground to regale stories of girls getting whooped not once, not twice, but thrice with an extension cord. There's no video evidence of us,
You said it's
so she can
Socrates.
deny. Whereas this poor kid has got it for the whole world to see, and there's no denying it, that he was screaming like a little bitch because he's about to get his hair cut. There's a huge difference between those two things.
Did you call me Socrates?
I did.
I might have to put that on a T-shirt. Speaking of T-shirts, folks, or Slim, I'm gonna take this off because I'm gonna put someone else up anyway. Got a new T-shirt out. I am a descendant of kings and queens.
Why you do Slim so dirty?
Because I'm gonna put somebody else up anyway. I'm a descendant of kings and queens. You can get this on the website that you will see scrolling at the bottom of your screen, as well as you guys can go and join our Patreon the same way by going to the website there. So you can either go to the shop or you can click the Patreon tab. Either way, you can support the show by getting the shirts, or you can go and support the show monthly by becoming a patron and enjoying all of the goodies that we have on there, and the goodies we'll be putting up every month. You can join for as little as $1 or as most as 50. Based off what level you join at will be what rewards you will obtain. So I was knocking him off anyway because I'm going to go ahead and throw Miss Susie up there because she earned it on that one. Anyway, so Slim was out of here. All right. So I think we all agree Lil Boy probably had his ass whooping coming. I think where we all kind of separate is whether or not it should have been recorded. I myself found the humor in it. Other people, believe that.
I didn't say it wasn't funny. I'm just saying, as a parent, I wouldn't want to do that to my kid because the point of discipline is to get your child to understand. And I feel like when you embarrass them, they lose the understanding of the punishment. It becomes resentment because I can remember a time where I've gotten in trouble in a public place, and afterward, I'd have a conversation with my dad and be like, I understand you were upset in the moment, but you didn't have to do what you did. And I felt some type of way about it. Now, as a parent, when your child says that to you, you have one or two things. You be like, "You my son, and I don't give a fuck how you feel." Or two, you be like, "You know what, son, I understand that," and then have that conversation about, do you understand why I did it the way I did it? Because I want you to feel how your behavior made me feel, so that I don't ever have to feel that way again. So it becomes not a necessarily a tit for tat, but an understanding of, oh, a child isn't going to see how the parent feels about what they have to do to their child in public. It becomes a teachable moment for that kid to be like, I never looked at the other side of it. I never understood that my behavior was making you feel the way that I feel as you are doing what you're doing in public.
And I'm with you. I think in today's environment and hopefully with the kids the way they're being brought up, some good, some bad, and with the parents, those conversations can be had when the child is older. I'm with you. Should be able to have those conversations. I think sometimes though the respect has to be there for the parents that, hey man, we're not talking about this, and you can feel how you feel, and it can be what it's going to be, but you're going to do what I say it do, and that's just the way it is. I don't think a parent should ever be put into a situation where they have to have conversations with a child all the time. But if there are appropriate subject matters or appropriate times, I'm all for it. If that's what the parent chooses to do, but I also don't think if the parent chooses not to, if the parent chooses to carry that heavy hand like so many generations before, I don't think that's a bad thing at all. But I think it's a kid by kid basis. Because, like I said, my mother had 4 kids, and all of us are fucking different. Like you and your brothers, you guys are all different. I do think there's one thing that can be wrong that parents do, is if a parent does this, if you treat every child the same, because every child's not going to react to the same things the same way. Some childs take to just you sitting down and having that harsh tone with them, and that'll shut them down and put tears in their eyes and straighten them up. Some kids need their ass whooped. Some kids need to be taken to the barbershop and given a haircut. It just depends on the kid. And that's the one thing I wish we did know. I would love to know what this child did this time and what he had done leading up to this to have this happen. Before we go, I do want to hit some comments here. Miss Susie is going to knock her own stuff off the wall. She says she type some other shit I didn't know she could type. She says, because people don't because people he doesn't know are judging. Dad did it for kudos on the web and attention. Woohoo, dad of the day. He's an ass clown. So, so Miss Susie got me with ass clown. Another good comment, but ass clown, Miss Susie, you put yourself back on the wall again.
Take me back to the 90s.
Yeah, she did. And Michelle Nagata says, looks like I missed most of the show. Yeah, but we about to transition real quick, so stay with us, Michelle. Thanks for jumping in.
And to
with
that,
us.
I say, Michelle, you know what time the show starts, girl. Stop playing.
I think Michelle be having some other stuff she doing that she be missing the show. Anthony Tipper said, my old dude whooped my ass in front of everybody on the street when I was 11. No one ever said anything about it because back in the day, we were all catching some change if we messed up. All right, Miss Susie, you've now been knocked off the wall by Anthony Temple. Anthony, I agree with what you're saying. We were kind of talking about that, but you knocked her off the wall because you said some old man shit by saying, because back in the day, we were all catching some change. That right there is an old man statement. Anthony, take a picture of the shoes you're wearing right now. If you're wearing some wingtips, let us know.
Got the Stacy Gators on.
He said, Anthony says it was kids everywhere. Michelle said, didn't see the video, but I think it's gross tactic for parents to show themselves disciplining their children for followers. On Facebook, you says, Aunt was still on the plantation, man, so that don't count.
That was slim. That was slim.
We got bro on bro crime in the thread. Y'all keep that up, man. Keep that coming. All right, let's transition to our next topic. We have another treasonous U.S. citizen. I cannot wait to hear what Deon thinks about this. I can't wait. You guys keep the comments coming. Deon, man, get your thoughts together. I can't wait to hear about this.
Yeah, so, man. Break it down.
21-year-old member of the Massachusetts National Air Guard what was this man's name? Jack Texura was found to be the leak of the documents that discussed some top secret information, some top secret discussions that are being had about Ukraine and about Russia and the war between those two. Information was originally leaked on a Discord chat room between, I think, just gamers at first, and then I think it was copied from there and made its way there and made its way from there to until the U.S. finally figured out that this shit was out there and had been leaked. 21-year-old, he is in the Air Force National Guard. He's assigned to the cyber transport systems. For those of you who wanted to know how the hell did this even happen, he was assigned to the cyber transport systems, and he operates the Air Force's global communication network. So he's a part of that, and that's why he was able to get his hands on some of this information. Deon, what are your thoughts on this person being arrested a few short days ago? Looks like right now, with all of the charges that they hit him with, it carries a maximum sentence of 15 years imprisonment.
I remember when spies didn't get caught. That's all I gotta say. Like, to me, we all need to step our spy game up because there's way too many stories about espionage in the news. Like, if you're a spy, the news is the last place you're supposed to be. You know, James Bond got to tell all those people his name was James Bond because he either killed him or they never saw him again. This guy Jack, what are you doing on Discord with national secrets? To me, it makes no. You know they gonna catch you. You work in the what's the word I'm looking for? You work in the technical internet department, right? You know how IP addresses work. You know how they track things and who posted what and who downloaded this. So you know all that stuff. To be on Discord and to get caught with this, like, what did you? This is my biggest problem with the people who did January 6th. What was your end goal? You didn't bring an overnight bag. You think you're just going to be able to storm the Capitol and then go home? No. You have to plan these things out. If you're going to do something that's going to get you locked up for 15, 20, 30 years, I don't know, maybe have an escape plan. Maybe have an idea that if I give you this, I'm going to need X amount of dollars so I can get on a plane and never come back to this motherfucker again. But this dude is like, nah, I'm going to just go home. Like, what are you thinking? Like, if you're going to be a terrible spy, at least be a smart, terrible spy and, not go home. Stay at your buddy's house. I don't know, move halfway across the country. There's a lot of wide open spaces in Montana. You can go to Wyoming. It's a square state. I don't know why it's square. It's ridiculous. Wyoming's probably the most ridiculous state in the country, but you could have went there. Kanye seems to love it. It just, as an American citizen, I kind of want to know what our government is doing. But at the same time, I don't want it to be this easy to find out. Like, he just leaked it on Discord and went about his day. To me, there should be levels to this. And I feel like this was just a very juvenile level. So it makes us as a country look bad when a guy who's in the freaking National Guard can get a hold of these secrets. Like, the National Guard, you work 2 weekends a month. You still got a job at Burger King. Like, this guy is not some high level dude. It's embarrassing. It's really embarrassing. And then to hear all the Republican, you know, insurrectionists back this dude up is just another issue I have with this. Like, if it was the shoe was on the other foot and a Democrat did this, they would be having a field day. And now this guy's some type of hero. Like, no, it's our secrets. They shouldn't have been leaked, especially by somebody who had no business having them in the first place.
There's a lot of testing and psycho analysis done and background checks, thorough background checks, of all that before they give you any type of clearance, especially top secret clearance is what he had. And so they tried their best initially to try to figure out who they can and who they can't trust. And it's based on a lot of different things. For this young man, he's not going to fall into a lot of the risky areas, such as does he have a lot of debt? Is he cheating on his wife? Things of that nature that normally that they would be concerned with that a foreign adversary could come across and take advantage of.
Cheating on his wife is a no security
Say again?
clearance. Cheating on your wife is one of the background checks that they have with the security clearance. It's funny to me.
Oh, um,
You can't be faithful to this bitch. I know you're not going to uphold the oath you took to the
well, that's
Constitution.
well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
I know. I just
Oh,
that's not funny to you.
I don't find any of this. I don't.
I can hear him saying, "Man, I just got a little head. It wasn't really cheating. I was just on Discord. It wasn't really."
I never find espionage funny. It really
Oh,
really bothers me. For me, what I would like to see done, I would like to see not a 15-year sentence. I would like to see his head on a block. That's what I would like to see, or I would like to see his neck in a rope. I hold no patience for anyone who wants to be a traitor to this country. Now, some people out there would argue, well, he didn't sell it to anyone. He didn't do it on behalf of Russia or China or any other foreign adversary, which I would say, so what? Either way is just as bad. I wish they could get their hands on the WikiLeaks motherfucker and get his ass back over here, but they can't. I wish they had never ever let that army. I think she was a specialist. What was her name? The one they just let out of jail. I wish she never saw the light of day. So I never ever find any humor in this at all. What I do, and again, what I find even more upsetting is, and you touched on this, is that this keeps happening. I was listening to a report over the weekend, and they were talking about what do our allies think about this, and our allies just think, here we go again, because it's always you guys who seem to be always leaking or letting information get out. It's not us. It's not Israel. It's not the Brits. Always the U.S. government is the one that's always leaking and information gets out of. So no, I find it very very upsetting. He's 21 years old today. I would like to see him not see 22.
that's a that's a strong statement. But coming from your military background, I kind of understand it. To me, I'm not so much mad about the leak. I'm mad about how easy it was for him to leak it. Like that, it should have took a lot more effort for him to get that information out into the general public. For me, I feel that's where the huge security breach is concerned. He shouldn't have been able to just download some shit and post it on Discord for everybody to see who's in that Discord. To me, there should be a lot more steps than that. I remember back in the days when you had to wait for the dial-up internet. And you had to have a USB cord that you plug in and download it on there. And you watch all these movies where people are trying to sneak things. He had to write codes and whatnot. And to me, for him to just be like, "Oh, here's it's on Discord. I'm gonna go home for the weekend," like that is to me the biggest. Because to be honest with you, if you really thought about it, if like anything you think the government is doing, they probably are. So whether you have proof of it or not doesn't really matter. Like if you think we're spying on our allies, we definitely are. If you think we're spying on Russia and China, we definitely are. If you think we have our hand in something, then more than likely we probably do. Because that's just how America rolls. We tell you what to do and we say shame on you if you don't like the way we do things.
I want to read something here because I think it comes from the same person. You correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's probably Slim is what I'm imagining, but it's listed as a Facebook users. It says information spans spying on allies as well. I think we have the best government money can buy. Those secrets were more disturbing at what our government does than harmful. Is that Slim?
No, that was Robert Scott Brock.
Okay, Robert Scott Brock. And is this Robert Scott Brock as well? Harmful as far as and question mark? Is that Robert as well?
Yes.
Robert, so that was Robert's comment. Then he says it lifts the veil, pulls the curtain back on who our government really is. We need to get a grip on our government. We vote people in, end up well, and running our lives. Think about that. We elect people to run. Look, Robert, this is the thing that bothers me. And Robert, I like you a lot because you're very supportive. You watch the show. You're very supportive of other things that I do as well outside of the show. So I appreciate all that. But you're pissing me off. And people like you piss me off. Because the mere fact that every time something comes out about our government, you act as if it's just our government doing these things. Governments around the world do the exact same things, allies as well as enemies. It is the way it is. Everyone is trying to get a leg up. Everybody wants to know what's coming around the corner. I have no problem with it at all. And what I would say to you, what I would say to anybody, and what I've said to people, Dion included, stop having a problem with it, because the things that this country does outside of these four walls is what keeps you safe at night. Period. End of story. Blank. Period. That's it. Everybody thinks everybody's supposed to be friends. Everybody thinks we're supposed to be on the up and up. It's like you want us to sit at a poker table with a bunch of other poker players and everybody's cheating and we just going to play the game straight up because we just want to make sure we're honest and we don't want to be. Stop it. Stop it.
Okay, I would agree with you if that was the sentiment of the U.S. government, but that isn't the sentiment of the government. They always tell us, "Oh, we're always on the up and up, and we're always the righteous ones, and bring us your Tyler masses, and we'll treat them. Everybody has a chance in America." When we all know that's not the case. So if you're gonna say one thing and do another, fine.
What are you
But
talking about? What does that have to do with? What does that have to do with this?
What I'm talking about is accountability. If you fucking up and you get caught fucking up, I don't want to hear, well, the other guy did it. We're not talking about the other guy. I'm not afraid of China. No Chinese national has came over here and threatened my life. I get threatened by Americans every fucking day.
You hear
so
this? Look, fine.
The idea that they're keeping me safe from Russia or
get out of here, man.
China. Stop the cat. Okay,
you know what I love?
Ain't nobody coming over.
I love that you only drive you drive down only one way streets your whole fucking life.
No,
you know what?
What
you
I'm
can only
saying
see
is,
one thing coming at a time. Yeah, yes.
China
because
ain't coming over here with no army. Russia ain't coming over here with no army. I ain't afraid of whatever spies they got who are influencing our. I ain't worried about that because my own government is screwing me anyway. Okay. So it don't gotta be a Chinese dude. It don't gotta be a Russian dude. They're doing it here right now by themselves.
You drive down one-way streets. No, you
acting like the government doesn't do it. Which is crazy.
The conversation isn't about what the government does to you. That's not even the conversation we're having.
So what are they protecting me from if they're doing it themselves?
For you to act like things are not happening outside of the four walls of this country. Are. Okay, so don't act like they're not happening and you're not being protected from it. If you want to bitch and complain all the time, maybe be thankful every fucking once in a while.
You got to earn that.
No, you need to give it. It's already been earned.
How?
It's already been earned.
How?
You tell me how it's not been earned. You tell me how you're not protected by those outside of this country that would love to see other things. You show me how it hasn't been earned.
Because whatever.
Do it without bitching about you being black in America.
No, I'm sorry that I am, and I'm sorry that that's the way that this country works. I don't get to change that. I didn't create it. I guarantee you, if I had the option upon birth to be like, you know what, I'm never going to have to deal with racism in America, I would have checked that option. But that's not the case. Irregardless of that, right? Irregardless of that, we're all Americans, right? So as a fellow American, if I witness my country set up fellow Americans for their own downfall, you don't get to come to me and say, well, China's trying to do it and Russia's trying to do it. That's their prerogative. They're another country. Why is my own country doing it to people who live here? That's what my issue is as mad as you want to be about China cheating in the poker game, as mad as you want to be about Russia cheating in the poker game, why are you, the country that we all live in, doing the exact same thing to the people that live here that aren't foreign nationals? I would understand if you were doing it to Chinese people and you were spying on them and Russian people you spying on them. I'd understand that. I get it. But they do that to Americans. The Patriot Act was some bullshit. Weapons of mass destruction.
Are you kidding me? You just had an American citizen just leak documents.
Exactly. To hold our government accountable, to get your shit together. It shouldn't be that easy. You say you the best of the best, well, show me, because I ain't seen it yet.
So as long as the leak is in your opinion, as long as the leak is and as Robert was saying, throwing some veil up on your government, you're okay with the leak?
No, what I'm saying is if my government is on some bullshit and it's trying to tell me it's not on some bullshit, and then I find out through a leak that it was on some bullshit, I don't want to hear any excuses about who the leaker is, why the leak happened. I don't want to hear that.
I
I want to
don't.
hear why were you on some
No.
bullshit.
First
That's
of
what I
all,
want to hear.
okay. Well, see, this is where I disagree with you and Robert, and anyone else who has this opinion, because as much as people such as yourselves want to sit back and again everything for this poker game for everybody to have their hands on the table and be on the up and up, and for everyone who's behind America sitting back there should know exactly what's in America's hands at all time. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. There's no reason for anyone who does not have the need to know about every conversation that is going on when it comes to this government with other things that pertain around the world. There's no reason, because there's no way for it to be all taken in and understood and handled. Go ahead.
I would agree with that if the people we are elected to do the things that they're supposed to do were doing the things that they're supposed to do. But you and I both know, whether it's left, right, red, or blue, the people that we elect to office do not have our best interests at heart. They're fighting over health care, they're fighting over Social Security, they're fighting over gun control reform. They don't have our best interests at heart. So for you to say that they are protecting me from some foreign country when they're not protecting me at home by rebuilding the infrastructure, I am challenging you on the basis of these people are looking out for me, because I don't believe that. I
Okay.
really do not.
Okay. All right, we go to some comments here. Danae says, remember the Big Bang Theory where we had a girl in the lab while he was piloting the rover? Dude's trying to show out to get curls of respect. Danae makes it to the wall again, and it's off the wall. Well done, Danae. Good job. Mary Ballard says, maybe his dad should have cut his hair off in public and recorded it. Victoria is in here. What's going on, Victoria? She says, hey, guys. What's good? Let's see here.
What's up, Victoria?
Michelle the guy says, I wish there were more information on why he leaked it. Like, was it for clout or what? Facebook user, I'm assuming this is Robert again. Harmful. Oh, no, I read that already. Michelle says, sounds harsh. Do you want Trump's head on the block, too, for the insurrection? Michelle, if Trump is found, proved, as I believe he is, probably to be some fucking spy, and that's why he took those documents, yes. I can't believe you really asked me that question, Michelle. You've been watching the show long enough. How else did you expect me to answer that? Danae Turner says, he's an idiot. I agree that 15 years is not enough, and there was a huge issue with the InfoSec protocols that were obviously not followed. But look at the random pages of information that are popping up in basements, vacation houses, old offices. It's terrible. Danae, absolutely agree with you 100%. Serious fucking problem. That's why we're the laughing stock, like I was saying before in the news report that I was watching over the weekend. Facebook user, it's not just our government, but we always yell, hold yourselves to a higher standard. I was in the military for 10 years.
That was Robert.
Robert, okay. Exactly. Accountability. I assume that was Robert agreeing with you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Slim says the Patriot Act is some BS, though, and I agree. The Patriot Act was some bullshit.
Let's see here. Danae says,
Robert Brock says, mommy and daddy are fighting.
Robert, you make it to the wall. And I'm the daddy. All right. Just for everybody to know about that.
Nigga, please. That's it.
Danae Turner says, China isn't coming with an army. They're coming with a checkbook. They own more shit that makes any sense. They hold loans, bonds for billions of our property and infrastructure. Danae, boom, has knocked Robert off.
But here's my thing with that, though, Danae, is say they call in that debt and we'd be like, nah, we're not going to pay you. Are they going to come over here and fight? No.
Look, we have what we have right now. What we have is a proxy war between in my opinion, people agree or disagree. We have a proxy war right now when it comes to Ukraine and Russia. It is a proxy war between the U.S. and China. That's why you see the U.S. and the U.S. pushing for the allies who did not want to do it, but they got them involved by whatever means they've got them involved to get behind this, give money to Ukraine, so on and so forth. Now, there's plenty of reasons to keep Russia within, or keep Putin within his own little cubby hole over there. But this is a proxy war between the U.S. and, again, China. We're starting to see something moving over to the other side, a little further on the other side of the planet when it comes to Taiwan as well. So things are starting to escalate. These are not just mere little small little scrimmages. These are not Whenever something gets leaked and this information gets out, this is not a small thing. These conversations are very important. It's very important to keep this information tight. It's also important to understand that most things, nothing is ever absolute. We never say on the show that anything on this show is absolute. We never say, I just got into a discussion with people over the weekend talking about Barack Obama, and they were talking about how terrible of a president he was and talk about some of the things that he did with black people. I was having this conversation with. First time I ever had a person with black people who had this opinion on Barack Obama. So nothing is ever absolute. You're never going to be in total agreement, and like everything that whomever you vote into office does. But when it comes to things of national security, I need everybody to get their asses all on one page. I don't know how you're on a different page. I just don't know how you can even be on a different page.
Well, I'll tell you why. Because the Patriot Act was some bullshit. National security was we need to go get the terrorists in a country that had nothing to do with the terrorism. So to me, look, I understand how important it is to keep protocols in place from these types of things are happening. But to say the other guy's doing it and so we're doing it, but we're not doing it as well as them, that's why I have a problem. If you're going to do it to the best, right? If you're supposed to be Star Spangled Awesome, be Star Spangled Awesome. It shouldn't be happening every other week. We shouldn't have documents at Mar-a-Lago or at Biden's
We are
crib.
Star Spangled Awesome, and I need you to recognize it.
Well, I don't see it. I'm sorry. The flag is at half mast, and it's been for a while.
We're going to move on. Danae says the leaks more often than not put our troops at risk rather than the people doing the bullshit. Absolutely, Danae. And Danae, you know what I would love? I would love that if you had a problem and you wanted to leak some shit, not only should you leak it, I need you to get on YouTube like that father did, whose son got his hair cut, and just get on YouTube and just start reading the documents. Not only that, just read the address where the government can come pick your silly ass up. Instead, you don't. You leak it, you drop it, and then you run. If you're a 21-year-old kid, you still stay at your mama's house like you think they're not gonna find you. And if you like them other weaklings, you take your ass and you run off overseas and you hide and you can never fucking bring your ass back home. If you want to do it, then do it. Man up and fucking do it.
Oh, stop acting like if you were a spy, you got caught. You'd be like, yeah, I did it. No, you would do anything and everything in your power to get out of the situation that you're in.
First of all, these aren't spies.
They're whistleblowers. Call them what you want to call them. It's all espionage to me, so it don't fucking matter what you call them.
Facebook, you says agree about every conversation, but there's got to be some oversight. Anthony Temple says, "Behold a Pale Horse" by William Cooper.
Is that a book?
Yeah, I believe that's a book. Facebook user threw up 3 hearts. I'm not sure who that Facebook user is. I'm not sure.
That was Robert Scott Brock.
Okay.
He also agreed on the proxy war and testing grounds for weapon systems. Yay, Raytheon. He says, I voted for President Obama. He loved talking calmly to both sides about differences. Well, let me tell you this, Robert. Neither one of us got elected, so we can talk to each other however the fuck we want to.
Well, I was gonna say this is a debate show. This is how people debate. Have you seen how they do it in Tennessee? Except for neither one of us is getting voted out. so
I would bring my mega horn, but it's 10 o'clock at night, and I don't want to disturb the neighbors.
Good show, good debate. Thank you guys for jumping in. Even those of you who may have jumped in a little late, we appreciate you. Danae says he wasn't whistleblowing; he was just showing off. Danae, you are right, because he did it like a 20-year-old and put it up in a Discord chat. So I would agree with you there. I would put you on the wall, but you're already up there.
Again, I agreed that he was an idiot for doing what he did. I'm just saying he should have never been able to do what he did. And the fact that he did, and now the cat's out the bag, I don't want to hear the excuses.
Look, when they have you, when you're in the military and they give you a job and you have the clearance, they are trusting you to do your job with the information that you have. Plain and simple. When you go off and you do what this kid, that's because this is what you decided to do, whether you're showing off like Danae has repeatedly said, or you are an actual spy who's being paid, as we've seen before within the U.S., being paid by China, or something along those lines. You are given a job. You are entrusted with this information. I won with a top secret clearance in the military. Never ever did anything as far as leaking anything. Never did anything as far as selling anything, because I was entrusted with what I was entrusted with, and I earned the clearance that I had. So while we see the people and the people who did get caught, there are plenty of people who are doing it and not doing anything of a heinous nature like this at all. But they're trusting you, Deon, and there has to be some level of trust. And I
I'm
was
not
just
I'm not disagreeing with that. What I'm saying is when we hire spies in other countries and they get caught and you leave a spy out to you hang them out to dry. If that's what happens, that's what happens. I'm not saying what this kid did is right. I'm not saying that. I don't think he should have done it, especially in the way that he did it. It was lame, to be honest with you. It was really
dead
lame
on the block.
what this kid did, and I don't have a problem with you wanting to kill him. I'm just saying now that the cat is out of the bag, I don't want the excuse to be, well, other countries are doing it. I don't give a fuck what other countries are doing. I don't care. That's their problem. That's their business. If you over here and you doing it to us, that's my issue. That's all I'm saying.
All right. All right. Thank you guys again for watching the show. We're going to get out of here like we always do with our What the Hell. And Deon, what's yours? What the hell this week, sir?
My what the hell is up with the Indiana weather, man? It was 80 degrees for like 4 days in a row, and then it snowed yesterday. What? I
What?
don't understand, man. It's very bipolar weather. I've lived here my whole life. I'm 38. I know Indiana weather is ridiculous. The Midwest in general has ridiculous weather, but what the hell, man? Y'all are really trying to get people sick out here with these changing of air pressures and temperatures going from 80 to 32 and sleet and snow. I'm really sick of it, Sydney. I'm about to pack my bags, come out there with you. I'm gonna hide all the knives for when your mama visit because I don't want my butt spanked with a very large butcher knife.
You might be a leaker. I don't want y'all here. Hey, my what the hell this week is people who get caught up with Fox News, MSNBC, CNN, and all of this. I was watching the news this morning. They were talking about Dominion, and that case has been put on hold until tomorrow by the judge. There's some thinking that there's going to be some type of settlement because they have not brought the old man down from the tower, Murdoch, at all. And I'm pretty sure he does not want to be put on a witness stand of any sort. And so they're thinking that there's going to be a settlement that's trying to be worked out between Fox News and Dominion. If people out there who do not know anything about this, Dominion was the company that had the voting machines. Fox News and Trump and some of the Trumpeteers were saying that these machines have been rigged, and this is how they're still in the election, so on and so forth. Now, if you haven't been caught up on the last few months, there's been some leaks of some text messages from Fox News hosts and executives, including I think one of Murdoch's sons, Lachlan, who all knew that all of this was bullshit, that there was nothing up with these machines, that these machines were on the straight and narrow, that there were no issues with them, that they had been tested and found to be in the clear. But hey, we gonna run with this story anyway because we want to keep our viewers. And my word for this evening is entertainment. I need you people to understand all of this is entertainment. Hell, we're entertainment. The only difference between us and them is we're not on a major network yet. It's all entertainment. No one you see on Fox News, on MSNBC, or CNN is really delivering you news. Every once in a while, they bring a reporter on and they interview them and they talk about what they wrote in an article every once in a while. But outside of that, there's nothing but talking heads. Now, a lot of you, if I told you that the WWE was real, you would laugh at me because you would think I was some kind of fool. Because we all know if you have two rocks in your head that the WWE is entertainment. It is a scenario that is written out, set up, planned out, played out, and they already know the ending. That's all you're watching on Fox News, in MSNBC, and CNN. Stop acting like it's real news. If you can stop doing that, then you can stop having some of the nonsensical conversations you're having and stop bringing some of the nonsensical comments you're bringing to this show as well. Entertainment. That is the word for the week. Entertainment. All right. This is normally where I would end the show, but I see some comments rolled in right there. Michelle Nagata says, yeah, Mother Nature, you bitch. Victoria DeVale says, it snowed. Danae Turner says, don't send that spring snow shit our way. Chelsea Chavez says, Chavis rather says, that's why I love Arizona. That's absolutely right. The weather is mostly predictable. Danae says, and you aren't claiming to be fair and balanced news. No, we are not. Charles says, y'all will be there soon. Okay, talking about the news. And Marissa says, I agree, Sidney Smith. Marissa, man, if you got to get there a little sooner, I'd have put you on the wall. But Danae is the last one to be on the wall. No, Mary, WWE isn't real. Thank you guys for watching the show.
Cream of the crop. Ooh, yeah. Let me tell you.
And all I can think about is when Dion and I are on HBO, you guys are going to be the ones that we remember. We're going to remember you guys being our earliest master debaters and supporting the show. I don't know where Dion. There's Dion.
Sorry, I, I kicked the cord and my light went out. My bad. That's gonna be my next. What the hell? What the hell is up with these cheap ass cords? You touch it one time and the light goes off.
Anyway, thank you guys for watching the show. We do appreciate you. Again,
Make
if you're
sure you
not,
hit that share button, guys.
I did forget something. I forgot to say hit that share button. So yeah, please click the share button before you get out of here, and go check out the Patreon or go check out the new tees over at SidneySmithCreative.com. Click the Patreon tab or go to the shop. We would appreciate you. Thank you guys. Have yourselves a great week. Dion?
We'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much. Have a great night, guys.
No salute? Okay. Jeez Christ.